welcome back to another episode of Canary Island with your host, Dr. Benji. I don't know why I've called myself a host. Since we last met, since the Manchester United game, we've gone on pretty far. Current job status is untouchable. Oh, and that's how we like it. In terms of recent fixtures, we've won 4, won 5, lost 4. Not many draws in there. A few absolute pastings from a couple of teams. So let's see how a few of them went down. So the first game was, it was an absolute cracker. I can't lie. The first goal comes from Aston Villa, but, well, it comes from us. It's a Johnny Howson own goal. Makes a complete mess of it. That man, Kiyotaki, not long afterwards, though, pops up for us. It sort of bobbles around, and he smashes it home. Susie from the corner comes next. Corner kicks were whipped in. Kiyotaki with the corner, and Susie's on hand to prod it home. Bennett scores the next one. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm assuming it's Elliot Bennett. It certainly is. Fires that one in. At that point, 3-1 up. I'm thinking game over. Job done. Flipping heck. Corner's whipped in. Headed coolly into the bottom of the net by Westwood, I believe it is. And then John Ruddy. Now, this episode's called Ruddy Nightmare. The first one, he kicks straight to them. So that was good. And then the second one, bounces off the post, off his head, and goes in the net. Disappointment all round. The big news, which I'm not sure if I cover, but Kiyotaki gets injured in this game. And it's going to be at Swansea. And he's out for 6 months. He's still out now. So the pain is felt across the nation. There's only one goal in this game. I think it was Harry Kane scoring it. As you can see there, Kiyotaki out for 6 months, which has absolutely crushed us. He was our star man up until that point. And the first game without him was Newcastle, and that didn't go very well. Actually, no, that wasn't the first game without him, I think. I think we had a few more before that. I think we lost to Liverpool, and we lost to Chelsea, and then the Newcastle game came along, and we got absolutely hammered. Just disappointing. We weren't good at all. I think the next goal you're about to see may well be a John Ruddy own goal. He really did have a really, really poor game. This goal is mad, to be fair to him, but he does kind of dive and push it into his own net. So that made it 4. And then Guadrado sort of rounds it off to make it 5. And it's just, you have games like this. And we had one in the first game of the season against Cardiff, if you remember. And it's just so demoralising. And it's so heartbreaking. The next game, though, didn't take long to bounce back. Lewis Grabban grabs one of his first goals of the season, I think it was. Headed from close range. Beat Tottenham. Massive result, that one. I think you'll agree. And then finally, arguably the performance of the season. I'm gutted I didn't live come this one. But we beat Manchester City 3-1. In kind of fortunate circumstances. Once again, John Ruddy saving the ball. And it then goes in. So, I don't know what we're going to do about John Ruddy. Despite them going 1-0 up with Zabaleta, Lewis Grabban, with a great chip over Joe Hart, levels the scoring. And then, I'm not going to lie, we get back-to-back penalties. And I'm not going to complain. Susie gets the first one, which I'm fine with, frankly. And then we slot home the second. I will say, Daley Blind does get sent off. I know, a bit ironic that he's playing for Manchester City. And there it is. Anyway, that finishes us off with the highlights. We've got Cardiff in the FA Cup. I know I've already played Cardiff, but I said I was going to do the Cup game regardless. So here it is. So that leaves the league table looking very, very promising. We're level on points with Chelsea with an 8 goal difference differential. I'll get that word out eventually. But 7th place, I can't complain. Obviously, a few teams are underperforming massively. City's one that we beat. Arsenal's another. So, Nathan Redmond, top of the assist charts in the Premier League. Oh, it's been very good. Obviously, you've just seen the highlights. What I forgot to mention, a few things that have gone on, which might surprise you, is that we had job offers from Watford and from Swansea, and I obviously turned them both down because this is Canary Island. This isn't Swansea Swamp or Watford's waitering services. I don't know what it would be called, but the season is going terrifically well. We've now got Cardiff to come in a FA Cup game, so hopefully that goes well. Obviously, the next episode, as you well know, as you've seen before, will be another transfer special where I'll go through the entire season. So the next game after Cardiff will be probably one of the first ones back. While we're here, though, shall we look at the change? Let's go to a mid-table finish. I don't want to push too high with the top half and then absolutely blow it second half of the season. We don't want to do a hull, after all. A few of those. Basson getting team of the week. Oh, we got a young player of the month. Who was that? Nathan Redmond has wowed the crowds. Sadly, we weren't even up there for manager of the month, but no harm done. So the save is being really, really fun still. At no point I felt like this has been okay, apart from the Newcastle result and having Kiyotaki injured for 4 months. I think we'll glaze over that, shall we? He's now out for 5 months, so life goes on. To kind of combat that, we've gone entirely more defensive. Obviously, before we were playing with a guy in here, but now we've changed it up so Cork is just sitting, and it's worked for us. Obviously, we've beat Tottenham and City playing like this, so we'll keep doing it. The squad's looking okay. I'm not utilising enough of it, I don't really think, but Harry Kane has been excellent for me. I didn't really mention the strikers too much. In fact, let's look overall at the squad. I never really do this, but it might be worth doing. So the goals are still spread out quite a lot. That said, Harry Kane and Joel Campbell have been putting in performance. Obviously, Lewis Grabban hasn't really stepped up from his time in the Championship, which is a shame, but he has got 3 goals, 2 assists, and he's doing okay in terms of average rating. Houlihan's not played too much, so we'll ignore him. Redmond and Kiyotaki, as you can see, were the main men on campus, and then you've got players like Susie, that I've nicknamed in my notes, Susie, but I call him Susie. Watch previous episodes. Johnny Howson as well is in there. And it's going, like, remarkably well. I don't think at any point I thought I'd finish 7th, especially, well, okay, I would say finish 7th. We're not finished there yet, Ben, calm myself. We do have Cardiff in back-to-back games, so it made it tricky. I would have tried to avoid Cardiff, obviously because we've played them before, but due to the fact I do the transfer special, I didn't want to do a game sort of halfway through the transfer window because it would have seemed weird if I started playing people in that time. Obviously, you're seeing a little bit of the transfer special right now, but from this point onwards, I guess we'll do the draw after this as well, because we'll have a little look. So the team selection, how is it looking? Susie is off on international duty. Is he out for a long time? Wow, okay, yes he is. So Susie's going to spend the entire transfer window away from me. We'll bring Ryan Bennett in, and then which means we'll then slot Harry Toffolo on the bench. He's not played too much for us, but he's been like relatively reliable. It is an FA Cup game, so we can play with a little bit more freedom, I guess. We'll give Redmond a rest because he's played a lot this year. We'll bring Joshua Murphy on. We'll bring one of the Murphys. I love the Murphys. They're great. Russell Martin, we'll give him a break. Do you know what? We'll play Harry Toffolo. Why not? It's only a cup game. If we go out, it's not the end of the world. I won't be too devastated about it. And we'll give Bradley Johnson a go at defensive midfield because he likes that as a ball-winning midfielder. So then we're playing counterbalanced, which is what we've sort of become accustomed to. Obviously, a little bit of revenge we're after you here. Cardiff absolutely battered us last time we played them. So if that doesn't happen, that'd be great. Come on, lads. Show us what you can do. Okay, well, they weren't overly excited about that, but let's see if we can change their attitudes with a passion. I think there's more to come from you, and I think that you've got what it takes. We're playing Lewis Grabban up top again. He had a really good game against Tottenham, and he scored against City, so I figure I'll just keep him in the team. Why not? Why not? And the first 15 minutes has been action-packed, it's fair to say. Shall we see who else is playing in this tournament? No, there's a highlight, Ben. Concentrate. Okay, if we lose to Cardiff again, I'm going to be a bit miffed. Okay, we've won it back. We've been on nice little bit of form as well, so if we can continue that. And the ball's been played through, and Lewis Grabban's in. He used to gobble these up in the Championship, and he gobbles it up now. 1-0 Norwich. Excellent. Well, at least we're not going to lose 4-0. It could still end 4-1, but it shows that our kind of fortunes in the league have definitely turned around since the opening day of the season. I don't know if it was just a system thing or a personnel thing. I think if you remember that game, as I think back, I played a really rotated squad. I started off with the team that got us from the Championship, and then I sort of half-time just brought 3 guys on, which probably didn't help the situation. But since then, I've had a really settled squad, and I think in the Premier League, that's really, really important. I've always thought that. I think if you get a settled squad, then just play them. Don't worry about rotating. Like, obviously, if you're in Europe and stuff, it does change the way you sort of approach things. As Cardiff come through, especially to Basong, though, makes an excellent challenge. And Ruddy's not let the ball in, so that's an improvement on previous matches. Elliot Bennett, Lewis Grabban. If Lewis Grabban can get a couple here, the Bennett-Grabban combination is back and in full effect, it seems, as ex-Norwich man David Marshall. I seem to say that every other day, every other episode. Gabby Bonlahor. This is a long highlight, so I'm fearful of a goal. And once again, we are done by the pace of Bonlahor. He damaged us quite badly in the first game of the season, and he's coming back to haunt us. We do play Cardiff, ironically enough, in the next league game, so this is a little bit of a scouting mission. We will be changing it around. Obviously, having Martin Olsen, who's very quick at left-back, will combat someone like Bonlahor. But we're coming forward again. Elliot Bennett makes his way into the box. Whittaker, can he find Bennett again? He certainly does. Whittaker, what are they doing? Bennett, someone shoot. Grabban, yes! I love that. Lewis Grabban. Making sort of a step up, although you could say it's kind of against Championship opposition because they came up with us. I'm not sure how much they strengthened in the summer, or if they'll strengthen. Oh, that is a bizarre bit of diving from Elliot Bennett there. It's a good slide tackle, but I'm sure he goes down before the ball's touched. Watch it back, let me know. Come on. Oh, the highlights are not coming too fruitfully. Although the highlights I've had have been goals. So that if that's anything to show for, that's not too bad at all. As we make our way to half-time with a 2-1 lead away from home, I'm relatively happy with that. I think Johnny Howson's struggling a bit, so we may just take him off. I don't want him getting overtired. I think we'll bring Jack Cork on. And you know what we'll do? We'll give... Oh, I was going to give Rubinho a go. We'll give Rubinho a go instead of Joshua Murphy. Joshua Murphy's put a fine performance in, but I just think it's nice to see Rubinho. I did this against them in the first game and we ended up getting hammered, so I shouldn't have maybe done this. I've got Rubinho in front of Harry Toffolo. It's hardly Workhorse City down that side anymore, is it? Blimey. Never mind. John Ruddy with a clearance. High, but not at all handsome. Fadis has been really good, actually. He's played most games for us, and he's just been solid, as Harry Toffolo loses out a little bit there, and Adam Lafondra comes forward. This is where I'm a bit fearful, because Harry Toffolo, like I say, is not the best defender in the world. Penalty. Sebastian Bassong or Elliot Bennett, or someone's giving it away. It's not like us to give away penalties, is it, boys? We do it all the time. I've just realised, if we get a replay against Cardiff, we'll play them 3 times in a row, as Adam Lafondra bangs it home. Well, that's disappointing. I'm hoping it's not to do with the changes, although once again it did come from the left-hand side. I did take the risk by playing Harry Toffolo, but by the same token, I want Martin Olsen. I feel like fullbacks on Football Manager get tired quite easily, and I wanted Martin Olsen and Russell Martin to stay fit. I was going to replace Russell Martin at one point in the summer, and then it just didn't happen. So, I don't know. I was going to do it, didn't do it. Don't regret it, so it's fine. It's nice to play a game without the pressure of the league. I'm sticking with counter. I could have changed control early in the second half, but I decided not to. I was going to do it as well. And that brings it to 2-2. So I will be playing Cardiff like 5 times in a row now, which is fine. But we're not out of the cup. Unlucky boys. It's not our day. So I would look at the draw now, but there's no point, because if we don't get through, it'll be, be underwhelming. The next game we're going to come back for then is going to be, look at that, Cardiff again, 3 times in a row. Ridiculous. We'll come back for the Arsenal game. How does that sound? So we'll do the transfer special next episode. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. I never really say that, but feel free to do so. From me, Dr. Benji, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.